Welcome to Absurditee. This is the podcast where we talk about current events and just random bullshit. You never know what's going to come out of our mouths. I hope you enjoy. Let's have fun, boys. Absurditee. Yes, welcome to the show where everything's made up and none of it matters. That's right. It's like knowing that the texture of the skin on your lips is the same as the skin around your butthole. It doesn't matter. Good morning, bud. Good morning.
I wish I didn't know that was a fact, but that is true.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know it's a fact.
It's 100% a fact. That is completely true.
And there's nothing you can do about it. And
isn't it the same thing as the end of your penis too?
That I don't know. But
I think it is
true.
I think it is
true. It probably is true. And it's nothing you can do, so it's kind of just like a fact you have to live with.
What's funny is when you say the word poop, your mouth does what your butt does when it poops.
Poop.
And the fact that it's the same skin is even better.
And the longer you say, the longer you drag out the O's is just the longer poop. Poop. Wow, this is stupid already. Okay, so me and my wife started doing this drinking. My wife started drinking a gallon of water a day. Like we got, yeah.
You are better than me. Wow.
She got one of those big like gallon jugs, and like it tells you like the times and whatnot.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, I have a smaller one, but like I looked at how many milliliters hers is, and then I like just fill it up to like match that. There you go. You're drinking your water. Attaboy. I will tell you what though. Driving for a living makes that very difficult.
Oh yeah, because then like halfway through you're like, no.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've been like this close, like within like a hair of pissing my pants,
like pinching the tip while you're driving, just like
several times this week, where you're just like shaking your body to like not piss yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's not fun at all. But I've been told that like it gets better as you do it because then your body like regulates it better.
Yes.
But right now it's like it's like flushing all that crap out of my body, which is good, but it's not enjoyable.
For me, I have this weird thing where I don't like to drink out of water bottles, and I don't know why. So I pour water into a little cup like this, and I drink it out of this because that's how I usually pour my drinks. So I actually got more used to drinking water because when I'm at my computer, I naturally just grab the closest thing to me and just drink it, usually in this cup. So I poured water in there, and like without even thinking it, I finished 3 cups of water, and I'm like, oh, this is water. I'm just like, literally, it's just like my mind's like, oh, hey, like do this motion, and I do it. Kind of like when people like eat instead of smoking just to keep that motion, keep your mouth active.
Yeah. See, I got like one of those ones that has like, it's like 1,000 milliliter water jug. And I have like such a competitive mentality that I'm like,
I'm gonna be my wife.
No, it's like I bet I can chug this like faster than anyone else. So I'm like, and it's like gone in no time. And I'm like, I finished my 4,000 milliliters of water by noon, and I'm like, no wonder I have to piss all the time.
Yeah, I'll make the mistake of like, I'll get to work, and then I'll do the delivery truck, and then I'll drive home, and I'll have like 5 energy drinks while I'm at work. And then I get home, and then like I'll take a nap, and I wake up, and I wonder why I feel so horrible. I'm like, wait, I did a full delivery truck, had all those energy drinks, haven't drank a drop of water.
Yeah.
I'm so bad for me.
It's amazing how much water
it will change your
body.
Yeah, it'll help your mindset, and it'll help your body feel better.
Yeah, it helps with muscle soreness. It helps with fatigue. I mean, it just helps with so much stuff.
Same thing with eating great. Like if you change your diet a little bit, people are like, oh, well, I changed my diet. I didn't feel anything. I'm like, well, yeah, because you changed your diet yesterday, Linda. Calm down. Like, give it a week, and you'll like.
No kidding.
Same thing with hitting the gym. Like, if you start hitting the gym, like the way you feel when you come home, you're like, I feel amazing. Like I'm in a good mood.
Oh yeah.
I'm energetic.
Then endorphins go.
Yeah, but then the only reason you ever stop is because you know you should go, but you're tired because you just got off work. And you're just like, well, I could just go tomorrow. And then you wake up tomorrow and you feel worse because you didn't go to the gym. So you didn't get those endorphins that you wanted.
Yep.
So now you feel even worse. And now you're just like, well, now I really don't want to go. And then you just never go back. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. But you want to know what really grinds my gear? This is not water related. So I've started drinking less pop and more coffee. because I'm trying to get the pop out of my system. Like I'm trying not to drink it as much. Um, and I stopped at a gas station, and normally I get pop while I'm at the gas station, or soda for those that live in other places. I call it pop. Get over it. Deal with it. I don't care. Um,
Fair is fair.
the gas station coffee is so freaking hot
Oh
that
yeah.
you have to wait. Like when I go get a drink, I'm thirsty. Like I want a drink, right? But I cannot drink it for like at least 30 minutes without scalding my tongue. Like I don't want a drink that I can drink 30 minutes from now. I want a drink that I can drink right now.
Yeah, no, you got.
And
You
that's
got to
where I
give it a
get
minute.
frustrated. I get so frustrated. Like yesterday, I went and bought one. I got an hour into my from there, and I took a drink. I was like, "Oh, finally, it's the right temperature to drink it." An hour. I had to wait an hour to drink something I bought to drink because I was thirsty. It doesn't make any sense.
See, last time I did.
Luckily, I had water, so I was drinking that too.
Last
while
time
waiting.
I did that, I got the coffee and I wanted it immediately. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I drank it. I got blisters on the roof of my mouth and it hurt so bad.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
And then
it's so
it's
bad.
horrible. It's horrible.
Oh. So yeah, speaking of the issue with like going to the gym and drinking water, you know, habit-based things that are supposed to like healthy habits. I was thinking about this the other day because when I first got home, I almost like immediately tried to start going to the gym, and I was trying to like keep myself healthy. I was cooking, and a lot of stuff went down. A lot of personal stuff was going on, so I fell out of it because I was always tired, and I just wasn't in the mood. And like trying to do a lot of things, I was thinking, I was like, you know, I keep on trying to do like these productive things in my mind. I'm just like, all right, like I have all this free time. Why am I just sitting on my computer when I could, you know, I could go to the gym. Granted, it's, you know, a 35-minute drive to the gym and then a 35-minute drive back. So that's an hour of gas that I'm using to go to the gym, which that's usually an excuse I use to not go to the gym, which is, it's a good excuse, but I mean, it's still an excuse. But I'll be like, you know, right now I could be learning my music software, or I could be, you know, learning more coding. I could be doing so many things, but like I tell myself, I'm like, well, I only have so much free time. Why am I going to waste my time learning this one thing when I could, like, within that time period, I could, you know, I could like go to the gas station, buy some snacks, sit down, watch some Netflix, watch some YouTube, play a video game. I get stuck in the mentality of like, why would I do these things that are essentially work to better myself when I could like be doing things that I enjoy that feel good to do?
Right.
But I feel like I much like many people have put myself into a rut where I'm just like, you know, I don't like, I'm only doing the things that make me feel good instead of making the sacrifice of feeling bad for a little bit to better myself and learn something. And I realized that like a lot of us spend most of our time worrying about wasting our time, when in reality we're wasting our time worrying about wasting our time, when we should just be doing the things that we're scared of wasting our time with. Because you spend more time in your life not doing the things you should be doing because you think doing things are going to take away from the time that you have, that by the time you get to the things you should be doing, you've lost too much time. That's why so many people, like so many elderly people, start going to college, or people have midlife crises because they realize they waste their lives afraid to do things that will make them better, because like they don't want to lose the time they have. But the time that you have now, you're not getting that time back. So why are you going to waste it doing the stuff that you shouldn't be doing? Because if you make the sacrifices right now, and I'm this is coming from a guy who probably won't do it, and it's completely a piece of shit, and is and like basically is like, after this I'm probably either going to take a nap or play a video game. I should go to and I'm fighting myself so hard to go to the gym right now. I've been telling myself all day, I'm like, I'm going to go to the gym right after recording. I'm going to send that email, and then while it's sending, I'm just going to go to the gym, get a really good workout for like 3 hours. And then every single minute that passed by, I was like, well, that's a lot of gas, and that's like a 35-minute drive to get there, and it's going to be busy. There's going to be a lot of people there. It's a popular gym. And I'm just like, stop making excuses. And my body,
for real,
my body's just like, take a nap. It's like, no, I won't. I need to hit the gym.
Just go, because I mean, this will be your segue because I know you want to talk about this. With your internet the way that it is right now, it'd probably be better for you to send that email and then go to the gym, so it gives it time to send without being interrupted by anything else.
Well, okay. So first off, before I go on my tangent, my luck is that the email is going to get like halfway done. I'm still going to be at the gym, and it's going to fail. I'm going to come back, and it's not even going to be like it's just going to be stopped. And I don't even know it fails because it doesn't tell me that it failed. It just sits it's like sits stopped and never goes anywhere. It doesn't say retrying, doesn't say disconnected. It just sits there.
Listen, I had the same problem. I was trying to so I'm trying to get a little bit more into streaming like gameplay on video games.
Okay.
So I did some, I don't know if anyone knows about this, but Borderlands 3. I did I recorded it was a 3-hour video basically. But I trimmed it down to like an hour and 40 minutes. Went to go upload it on YouTube. Gets to 99%, stopped, was there for like 30 minutes. So I hit X and it said file too large.
Wait, YouTube said file too large?
Yes.
People upload like 10-hour videos to YouTube.
I know. I don't know what the problem is. Don't know what the problem is.
That's interesting.
So I'm going to try it again because I have it saved, but I mean, I was playing with a buddy and it was fun. We played the newest DLC for Borderlands 3.
I played a Phasmophobia with what I assume was a group of lesbians, only because of the way they were talking to each other. But
yes, queen.
No, the exact opposite. The exact
opposite. They were calling each other bitches?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were walking up and be like, "Sup, bitch," and they'd be walking around and be like, "Hey, I found your handcuffs." Like, because we were playing a game called Phasmophobia. It's a ghost hunting game. It's spooky. It's fun. It's very fun to play.
Is it a PC game?
I think it is only PC. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, wait, but you have a PC. It's a very.
I was about to say I might try it.
It's a fun game, and yeah, it's literally ghost hunting, and it's spooky. I was sitting there, and I'll admit I smoked a little bit beforehand, and I told him I was like, hey, I want to play this game, but I want to be like really afraid, so I'm going to smoke a little bit. So I smoked a little bit, and I'm sitting there, and every time I talked, I'd be sitting there, and I'd crack to be like, "Hey, Mr. Sneaky," I'm just walking around this prison, just like do. And then I'd find a teddy bear, I'd be like, "Teddy," and one of them would walk back, like, "What am I listening to?" I'll be like, "Mind your business."
Listen,
get out of my prison cell.
If we can, if I can find it and it's like we can play it, we should like stream playing together and just like have our stream in there.
I guarantee you that you would love that game because it definitely gives you that fight or flight if you're like really listening to the game.
I have to download Steam though, correct?
You do have to download Steam, yes.
Okay, so when we take a break, I'll try to see if I can download it.
I don't remember what the price was, so I'll check on the price of the game. Okay. It shouldn't be too much.
Just depends. I got in trouble for spending too much money recently, so
I might just get the game for you. I don't know. But speaking of my internet, so I've been trying.
Yes, let's get into that.
I have been trying to get internet recommended by my friend. Hi, Bob, Robert, Craver, whatever you want to be called.
Our number one commenter.
Our number one.
Our number one interacting.
And every time a video comes out, he's like, "Great video, I'm proud of you." I'm just like, "Thanks, Dad."
He is on it. He is on it every single time, and that's what we love. We love listeners like that.
The only complaint I
commenting people.
The only complaint I have about this man is he recommended this internet to me, and nothing against him because the internet works great for him, but he recommended this internet to me, and I'm like, okay, I'll try it out. So on November 28th, I ordered my internet, and they're like, okay, it should be shipped to you within 7 to 10 days. So just to tell you right now, I still don't have the internet, so that's why we're talking about it. I think it was like November 2nd, a UPS tracking number was given to me, and immediately I thought it was weird because the tracking number, when I clicked on it and started tracking it, it was in New Jersey. I'm like, your company's not New Jersey. Get out of here. That's not the right place. And then I think it was like November 5th, and the package was still in New Jersey. It had not moved. I'm like, interesting. That's not right. So I contacted them. I'm like, hey, what's going on? No answer. Next day, emailed them. Hey, what's going on? No answer. Try to call. They're like, we're sorry, but due to the pandemic, no one is answering the phones at these times. I'm like, of course. So the next day, emailed again. And then I contacted my buddy. I'm like, hey, these guys really aren't talking to me right now. Like, I'm not getting a response or anything. He was like, well, here's the CEO's information. You can talk to him. I emailed the CEO. CEO did not respond to me. So I was like, hey, bro, can you talk to him for me? So he contacted the CEO. Responded almost immediately. I was like, all right, so first off, listen here, you selective hearing bitch. Like, I'm trying to talk to you, and you're not answering me, but you answer. This is like having a side hoe. Like, oh, so you're not going to answer me, but you'll answer him. I see how it is. All right, all right. So immediately I was like, okay, so I feel discriminated. I'm like, okay, so you're racist against white men. I see how it is. But I'm joking. But anyway, so
I was hoping you would
yeah,
be.
I'm pretty sure this. I guarantee you, the CEO is a young white male, because he's successful.
Wow.
Yeah, I went there. Statistically,
Yikes.
statistics don't lie. I apologize. So basically, he was like, "I'm so sorry." By the way, again, this is him sending an email to my buddy. He was like, "Hey, so sorry. The package to me, Jacob Cavalier, was lost. We apologize. Package will be sent no later than tomorrow evening." So I was like, awesome. That's great news. By the way, this was, I think, before Christmas. So just date-wise, I'm letting you know when the CEO of the company said this. Not to my face, but about me. I saw it in a screenshot, thankfully. Thank you, Robert. He was like, it will be sent like no later than tomorrow evening, or something along those lines. So like definitely within like 2 days. I was like, okay, awesome. Like, I can't wait to have it. I think like the next day I get charged for a month of internet. I'm like, oh, interesting. If you can show me the internet, I will gladly pay this price. So I quickly informed them. I'm like, hey, I'm being charged for internet that I have yet to receive. Almost my exact words. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Do you want a refund? I'm like, no shit, Sarah. Yes, I want it. I want a refund. Yes, give me my money. So I'm like, yes, please. And so she gives me a refund. End of conversation. I'm like, okay, so things are still being stupid, but I'll just keep waiting. I'll see what happens. So I never hear anything back about the new order coming out. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I email them again. And I'm like, hey, why haven't I received this package? And they're like, I'm sorry, let me look into it. And I never hear anything back from that person. So I find another person. I'm like, hey, I still haven't received anything. What's going on? They're like, oh, let me look into it. Never hear anything. Ooh. Excuse me. And then the next person, I'm just like, well, I'm like, hey, Robert, like this, like, I'm still not getting anything. I don't know what's going on. And like, he really can't do anything at this point. I mean, he contacted the CEO. I mean, like,
right,
what more can he do? So he's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm very sorry. I'm like, it's not your fault. I don't blame you whatsoever. But like, it's a situation and it's really irritating. And you're the only person I can talk to about it because like, it's because you started it technically. Like, this was your idea.
This is your fault.
So I'm not blaming you. But since this was your project, I'm letting you know this ain't it, Chief. Like, this ain't working. And then like a couple days later, I get charged for second month of internet that I have not received. So I'm like, listen, this is getting absurd.
Oh, he did it! Oh my god!
Worst joke I've ever told in my life.
He did it! He plugged this show.
I should have done the Zoom.
That was stupid.
It was horrible. And I'm
so long story short, you still don't have your internet.
No, okay. So two more tangents, and then we're going to take a break. Well, two more things. Yeah, two more things of this story. So they sent me an email recently, last time I complained, and they said, hey, so I talked to shipping. They will have your package out. It has already started shipping. You should receive a confirmation email within 24 hours. I'm like, okay. And that was on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, I'm like, I still haven't received an email. Let me talk to him again. So at 10 o'clock, I'm like, hey, still haven't received anything. No confirmation email. what's going on? And he was like, let me look into it. It was a different guy, like brand new guy to the entire case. By the way, he called it a case, which makes it seem like something criminal happened.
That's yikes.
Yeah, I don't like when it's like, let me look into your case. I'm like, hold on a minute. The glove didn't fit, I swear to God. But so he was like, so I talked to shipping personally, and it will be shipping overnight. You should receive a confirmation email within 24 hours. That was yesterday. I'm like, what do you mean it should be shipping overnight? I was just told by one of your employees that it shipped Tuesday and it was already on its way. So it hasn't shipped yet. And I've been lied to about a package 4 times.
You might just need to look into a different internet provider.
There is no different internet provider.
There's got to be a different one, man.
No.
Something's got to be better.
I live with the Coyotes. There's nothing out here. I have HughesNet, and they're just as bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's horrible. No one's ever said, hey, I love my HughesNet internet. Usually those people hang themselves. No offense.
I'll have to look into it because I think there is one that might come out that way. I'll look into it, though.
I guarantee you're going to send it to me. I'm going to be like, all right, talk to them. And they said no. We'll get into
Maybe.
it. Let's take a quick break. Yep.
Let's take a break. Absurdity.
So I was going to make a list called Stoner Thoughts of like when I smoke and I just have like these random thoughts, but they're always like super philosophical, like just super in-depth thought. And then this one I thought was kind of funny because I typed out, I said, people. Oh, I just clicked out of it. I said,
nailed it.
People say, thank God we got Biden, but we should say, well, at least we got Biden. It isn't a good thing that we got him, but it's better than the alternative. Like having drunk sex with Charlie Sheen and only getting herpes, it's better than the alternative.
Oh, wow.
I thought that in my mind while I was like using the toilet like in the morning. I was like, I'm writing that down. That's beautiful.
Is that why you were on one foot flushing while you were peeing?
No, but a funny story about that. So I was holding. No, so the day that I was playing, yesterday was it not yesterday, but the day before, when I was playing that game with the lesbians. I was like, hey, I'll be right back, and I was holding a joint in one hand, and you know how my toilet is, where you have to like push down the pedal to flush it.
Yep.
So I'm sitting there, like, of course, you know, like aiming with one hand, holding the joint in the other, one hand on the floor. No, not one hand, one foot.
I was going to say, dang, man, you are talented.
Yeah, no, like, so one hand holding a joint, then one foot on the floor, and then one foot in the air, like pushing on the pedal. So I'm just staying here like this. I'm just like, I don't know why I inherently feel French in this position.
Bonjour, pipi.
Something just felt like I was like a French man in a tank top, just sitting on a balcony, be like, "The f are you looking at?"
That sounds more Italian than French.
Yeah, well, I can't do a French, so the best you're getting is a racist Italian.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Would you like a short story, a long story, or a disturbing list?
Let's start. I want to start with the list. I like disturbing lists.
Okay. So this is a list of hazing that is done in fraternities, I guess you could say.
Oh, I thought I was going to go military. I was going to be like, oh, I know these.
So the first one's called Getting Sent to the Hole. This is from a user called Chelsea Redhawk. And it says, one of the frats at the school I go to tried to build an in-ground hot tub in the basement of one of our senior houses. So they took pickaxes and started to dig into the basement concrete and dirt. Well, it didn't work out, so they just have a huge hole in the basement of their house. But they put pledges in the hole, like 15 of them. And she heard that they've been puked on, pissed on, alcohol poured on them, and then they have to sleep there.
Oh.
Like, God, that's so degrading. Like, I'm not for hazing at all. Like, I know it's like a tradition thing, but just I can't do it, man.
That topic in particular is difficult for me to talk about when it comes to the fact that I was in the Marine Corps. I mean,
yeah, I'm sure you had to go through some hazing.
That's almost necessary.
I
watched a kid get kicked in the chest through like a platoon of recruits.
Oh Jesus!
Like on the stairs, being like, he literally would just be like, "What the f did you say to me?" and just punt kicked him in the sternum through other people.
Wow.
I was like, "Oh my god, dang!"
Okay, so the next one's called Bloody Knuckles and More. I can't pronounce this person's name, so we're just gonna go on with the list. So the number one is laxative run from school to the bus station, which is approximately 2.2 miles. Number two is knuckle drop push-ups onto bottle caps,
Oh,
knee drops into bottle caps,
not as bad.
rubbing knuckles against brick wall,
No, okay.
military workouts in the ocean at 12 midnight, and then run to the local bonfire breaks during breaks.
That's just Navy SEALs.
And then
You guys are training.
okay, the rest of the ones on the list weren't bad, so
I would say that all just sounds like military training.
Next one's called being thrown off bridges from the user Grodecki.
Okay.
And it says, I have seen videos of a rugby society throwing people off a bridge blindfolded onto ... nets. But can you imagine being the person getting thrown? Like, you don't know that there's a net down there.
Well, what if they do though?
I highly doubt it if it's hazing.
Oh well, okay, but who's the one reporting it? The one watching on the sidelines, or the one like the dude that it happened to? Because if it's the people watching on the sidelines, they could just be watching something that's already been agreed on and be like, "Yo, blindfold me and throw me off this." That's something that I would like. If I knew there was a net, I'd be like, "Blindfold me, throw me off that," because I want to feel the adrenaline.
But if it's this is all hazing stories, so I have a feeling if it's hazing, the people that were getting thrown did not know that there was a net underneath them.
That would be like, I'm going to die. Like, this is my last.
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
My last breath
like it'd be absolutely terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the next one's called a new kind of quote unquote drunk take from Lord Judd. This particular frat takes all of their new pledges to a house off campus where there's a U-Haul truck in the driveway. They put 4 or 5 pledges in the back with a keg and 4 handles of liquor. Sounds great so far. Before locking the trailer shut, the actives said something along the lines of, "You boys better finish all of this by the time we get where we're going," without ever telling them where they're going or why. Long story short, after about 2 to 3 hours of driving, the actives stopped to check on their fledgling pledges. The keg was tapped, most of the liquor gone. There was apparently an awful lot of piss and puke, and a gaggle of very ill, very passed out young fellas. That wouldn't be so bad. That's not so bad. Like,
yeah, I get
that.
Like,
that's like, that sounds normal. Like, I
yeah.
can see that. Like, but like the next one, whew, no, I couldn't do it. I'd quit right there. This is called getting close to a watermelon from user Back Jordan. A rival fraternity would buy watermelons for their pledges and time them doing things with said watermelons. The closest your time was to another brother was who your big became in the fraternity. The person who lasted the longest would then have to eat the leftovers.
Oh.
Yeah, that's dude, I would quit.
I've heard
if they were like, you have to eat it, I'm like, yep, I'm out. See ya.
I've heard a couple
Not
of
doing
games
it.
like that, yeah.
That's disgusting.
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
That's disgusting. Okay, and this one's called Walking with the Runs. From the user is deleted. They deleted themselves. They don't want to be known. So they had to drink a gallon of prune juice and walk 12 miles back to campus.
Is prune
I don't know if
like basically like a natural laxative?
Yes.
Okay.
And a gallon of it, yeah, I'm sure that would
it literally says anything. Oh my god.
It literally says liquid shits were had. Next one, which I think is one of the most degrading ones on this list, says being crated like dogs in the basement. From user She Believed So She Did. Boys were forced to sleep in dog crates in the basement with a sleeping bag and had to bark if they wanted to be let out to use the bathroom.
There's some people that are into that.
Dude, anything that I get degraded that bad for, like, I'm done. I don't even care about being in a fraternity at that point.
All this is based around the willingness of them just because they want to be in a frat. I'm not saying that like they weren't bad for hazing, because that kind of stuff's like disgusting, and people that force other people to do that are horrible people.
Like the watermelon one? Oh my god, dude!
But why
Like,
would you belittle yourself so much to be willing to do that just into a
yeah,
fraternity that means nothing? Like
yeah,
when you graduate, that means nothing.
that
You're probably
means
not
nothing.
go talk to any of those guys anyways. You'll be like, I remember what they did to me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be like Bill Cosby.
All right, so I'm just gonna read this other one because it's a short one. The headline reads, which is really all there is to the story. The rest of it's kind of just more of an explanation, like just more information.
All right.
The headline reads: Wolverine walks by biker carrying goat head.
I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, it says a wolverine was spotted carrying a goat's head on a bike path in Alaska. Now, granted, the wolverine is the largest of the weasel family,
But it's
and
still
males
not.
can weigh.
I mean, they're not massive though.
Well, male wolverines can weigh up to 55 pounds and reach a length of 3 feet. That's pretty big, dude. That's like that. Like, would you like something that big running at you? Weighing 55 pounds. 55. That's heavy.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, they're angry little bastards. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah. I would not want that running at me.
Yeah, right next to the honey badger, and don't mess with them.
Like, it literally decapitated a goat and was just carrying it around like a trophy.
I like it.
There was a video to it. There was a video to it. I did watch it. Had zero sound, which I was a little irritated with.
Oh, I hate that when it's like a really good video, but it has no sound. You're like, I kind of want to hear what's going on.
Well, and what irritated me about the video is you can't tell it's a goat's head until like the last 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's like behind a post. Like, you can see the body, but the head's like behind a wooden post like the whole time.
So does he look massive?
Oh, he looks pretty big, dude.
How big?
Like,
how big is the goat head though?
I want to say it's probably about a fourth of its body.
Okay, because I'm picturing like a massive goat head and then a really small wolverine, like just completely unproportionate. I'm just like, how did he get the head off?
I'll send you a video of it. I'll send you the video.
I'll say I watched it. Everyone always sends me videos, and I'm just like, yeah, I watched it. I'm like, I did watch it. I should have.
There's another news story I have, but yeah, we'll go ahead and read it. All right, it says New York National Guard helicopter crashes and kills 3 soldiers. Like, this literally happened, or it was reported yesterday. It says 3 soldiers were killed Wednesday evening when a military helicopter crashed in upstate New York, and the crash took place about 15 miles south of Rochester. The UH-60 medical evacuation helicopter based at the Army Aviation Support Facility at Rochester International Airport was on a routine training mission when it crashed, according to the State Military Affairs Division. Emergency crews went into life-saving mode upon arriving at the scene, Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter said during a news conference. This is a heavy burden on all of us. We're waiting for the National Guard for confirmation of who was on board and identification of our great soldiers. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, released a statement on the crash. He said flags at all state buildings would be lowered to half staff on Thursday. I am devastated by the news tonight of a New York Army National Guard helicopter crash in the town of Mendon that killed 3 of New York's bravest during a training mission, Cuomo said. And the investigation is still underway.
That's really sad. I feel bad because I am having to hold back on jokes just because it's just such a devastating story. But me, naturally, I like to joke about really messed up things.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm trying not to.
It's like, it's just, I mean, it's sad that it happened during it was just a routine training mission. Like, it wasn't even like.
I mean, so a thing that happened a while back when I was in the Marine Corps, still in Okinawa, there was a C-130 that crashed into, a C-130 that actually cut its own cockpit off. Which I don't like how I said that because that made it sound weird. So maintenance wasn't being done properly on it. There was rust that was being built up in the mechanisms of the propeller. So when it was going in the air, the propeller literally snapped off. But with its momentum, went across the cockpit, cutting off the cockpit, sending everything else down. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew a guy on that plane. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I knew one of the corporals on there.
That's oh wow, that's just insane.
Yeah, it was horrible. And like that was a big deal for us because we're aircraft maintenance. I mean, it wasn't
Right.
our aircraft, but
Right,
it's
right.
our branch, our people that didn't do the maintenance it needed on an aircraft when it had so much saltwater damage that it literally murdered an entire C-130 full of people. When it wasn't full because it was a training mission, so
Yeah.
it had what they needed to get the bird up, like a
Pilot, co-pilot.
pilot, co-pilot, crew chief, and then like basically an avionics maintenance chief, maintenance chief for all departments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just basic people.
Yeah.
Couple grunts probably.
But that's just I hate hearing when people die in a training mission because like
It's just like it's the last thing you expect to hear because you're like it's because when you think of like doing training for anything, you're just like it's training. Like there should be like no harm should be possible.
It should be safe.
Yeah.
It should be 100% safe, and it's not because people are dying doing it.
Yeah, I mean, because you could die training to drive a car the same way. It's just,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And then it's still training. You're just like, well, I should because like I'm learning, and you just have like every person has a mindset of like because you're in your life, you're in your lane. Everyone has a mindset of like it's like training. Like I'm not going to die in training because I'm training.
Exactly. Yeah, like what they're going in there thinking I'm completely safe. We're not seeing combat. It's just training, and then something like that happens, and it's just like, God dang.
Yeah, that kind of stuff like is crazy, and you usually don't hear a lot of the stuff that happens because there's a lot of smaller stuff. Like I was in when I was in Okinawa, not when I was in Okinawa, but back in Okinawa, because the Okinawans hate American military.
I mean,
yeah, I mean,
can't really blame them.
Understandably, but not for that reason. It's for like
really.
Well, there's a huge issue with like male Marines raping like underage Japanese. That's been going.
Well, that makes sense.
That's been going on like since World War II because I'm not defending like any of the military members that committed those acts because like they're horrible people. But when you put a kind of person that's like deprived of possibly if they have a family, kids, wife, they're constantly working, and then like you give them like a weekend to go crazy, they're going to lose their minds because they've been so socially deprived and so deprived of everything. They're going to make horrible decisions. And I'm still saying like that's what they did is not okay, but you're putting them in horrible positions where mentally like they think that so many things are okay or they just want to release. And also you put them in the mindset of like the whole military is kind of like a mindset of moral gray ground because a lot of things you do like potentially aren't morally correct and you have to see the other person as an enemy. So if you were raised with the mindset of like the Japanese have always been the enemy and now you're in Japan, like you're going to have a disrespectful outlook on those people.
But that should never immediately go to like I'm going to rape this young girl.
Absolutely, like I said, not defending them whatsoever. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying like you still have to have that morality and that conscience to be like, yeah, they're the enemy, but raping is like not something you need to do ever.
It sucks because every military does that to every country that they go to. Every time you hear of a military going to another country, either willingly or unwillingly, you always hear about like
why is that a thing? Like, why do people think that we're invading this country, so I must rape women?
No, the thing is, what you have to be like the mindset you have to have in order to actually think that you're morally correct for invading and killing people in villages and in cities. Like that takes a lot. You can't be morally okay and go to war. It's not possible. I'm not talking bad to people that have gone to war.
No, I get it.
But like there's a certain level of humanity you have to lose in order to like do the things that you have to do to defend the country that you're defending.
Yeah. But I think at some point things get taken too far. And you have to still have that moral compass to know that, hey, this is going too far.
Yeah, but also like the worst things they do, sometimes they're praised for it.
I mean, I get killing people, like I get that, but like, what in any conscious mind does rape seem ever okay?
I mean, it shouldn't.
And it shouldn't. No, you're right. It never should. There's no reason why it should.
And you can't
Because
really explain the mindset of it because I mean those people aren't normal people. Those people are deranged and they seem normal, but I mean something up there is not working right. Something happened to them at some point.
yeah, if you think rape is any kind of like, I just don't, I don't understand it, and I'll probably never will because I've never been in that position. And even
Nor
if I
do I
was in
want
that
to be.
position, no, I
Honestly.
don't want. No, exactly. I don't ever want to be.
Yeah.
But like, I just don't get why you would like want to force sex upon someone.
Take a quick,
It just doesn't make any sense
take
to
a
me.
quick break.
Okay.
I really need to pee.
All right.
Oh my god, I need a piece of them.
We'll be back.
All right.
Absurdity. And we're back.
All right, so
Okay.
I don't. So, did you know as of in 2016 that Mexico was the most obese country in the world?
Really?
Yes. But did you know that the cause of that was essential
Quesadillas.
America and Coca-Cola
Makes sense.
and Coca-Cola products? So, Coca-Cola.
Yeah, that's why you go Pepsi.
Coca-Cola is actually one of the leading causes of obesity in most countries that have obesity problems because Coca-Cola is so cheap to produce.
Yeah.
That it's more convenient than, drinking water. It tastes better, makes you feel better momentarily, and it's cheap. So you can drink it regularly. The average Mexican in 2016 drank about 36 gallons of Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola products a year, which was 40% more than most Americans that drank about 23, 26 gallons a year. But after 2016, America overtook Mexico again in the obesity rate. Big surprise.
That's the Big Mac.
But another issue that was going on, unrelated to Coca-Cola, but having to do with America, is Somalia's obesity rate, which was going up because we were selling them turkey butts.
The unused part of the turkey.
Exactly. We were exporting all of our turkey butts to Somalia. Well, Somalia was having such bad obesity issues where like their population was dying of obesity, hypertension, just bad health conditions due to obesity. So they tried to ban the export of turkey butts. Well, America wasn't having it. So they basically boycotted Somalia and stopped sending them everything. And then had other countries do the same thing and virtually bullied them into having turkey butts. And then I read a headline because I remember hearing about this. I don't remember where I heard it from. I know I heard it from one Netflix series. I don't know specifically about the turkey butts. I think I may have heard that from somewhere else, but maybe not. No, same story because they're talking about the world obesity rate. But yeah, so America was literally just bullying them into eating turkey butts. And then now we're back at number one where we belong. America number one.
Yeah. Go America.
With Mexico still being number two because of the high percentage of people that are still
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, high percentage of people that still drink Coca-Cola more than they drink water.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I remember hearing about that. There was a lot more that goes into it because Coca-Cola is spread throughout the world. Coca-Cola has so much pull in places like China. Coca-Cola has literally changed some Chinese laws because they were trying to fix their health rate because so many Chinese people were having issues with obesity as well. Now, of course, they have a lower percentage because they have such a higher population.
Yeah.
So if they had the same percentages as America, that would mean that like millions upon millions more people were actually dying of obesity. But there were so many people in China having health issues that the Chinese government was talking about regulating what was coming into the country. Mostly when it came to soft drinks, they wanted much less soft drinks coming in because of either the natural sugars or the much unhealthy version, which is the uh, high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
Which is what is used in American Coca-Cola because it's cheaper, but it's far more unhealthy. Well, again, Coca-Cola wasn't having it, so Coca-Cola had basically talked to the Chinese government and had the Chinese government actually promote Coca-Cola in China. Now imagine that an American company had so much pull that in a country that has 100% regulation on its internet was like, you know what? You need to drink a Coke. That's what you need to do. Coca-Cola. People are like, China owns the world. No, Coca-Cola and Nestle own the world. And they just happen to let China do some messed up things for money.
That's crazy.
Because you'll be surprised how many things unrelated to chocolate milk that you'll find Nestle on.
Related to chocolate milk.
Nestle is one of the largest companies next to like Coca-Cola and Apple and Amazon in the entire world. There are so many things that Nestle has their hands on and Coke have their hands on that it's kind of scary. Like, you're just like, why is Nestle printed on my toilet paper? Why does my insulin say Coca-Cola on it?
Yeah, Nestle is like in everything, man. It's crazy.
How are those companies not considered a monopoly when, yeah, maybe they're not controlling these companies, but they own these companies, or they have like a high percentage of like stocks in these companies, so they virtually.
I guess because they're not controlling the companies.
But I mean, they're not controlling, but they are controlling. Like,
yeah, but they're like not up front with the controlling this, so it's like doesn't appear to be a monopoly, so they manage to get themselves out of it
because way. I mean the whole Google monopoly is still going on, which I don't know what's happening with it, because like we've reached the day and age where we've become so accustomed to messed up things that like nothing really happened. Like if this kind of stuff was happening back in the day when there was like a lot less social media and a lot less like news that you could get immediately, then this would be horrible and it would get changed immediately because people are like, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. But now that we're so accustomed to like just things like horrible things happening on the daily, nothing happens because of it, because we're just like, we're just like, yeah, it's Tuesday. Of course, like the Illuminati's killing off people.
Well, and like the speed of which you get your news and your media now is just like that fast. Like it goes so fast that like
I was just,
or you had to like wait for the new, like the actual news or the newspaper,
or you had to be like where the news was happening. Like you had to be on location and be like, oh my god, I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of newspaper, okay, so I'm gonna lead us into something else.
Okay.
My son was in the front page of the newspaper.
Oh, really? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, he was in the basketball homecoming last week, and his picture came out so good that he was picking his nose.
In the picture?
In the picture. I'm just glad it doesn't say his name.
That kid just couldn't stop for 1 second.
Not 1 second. But speaking of my son and how crazy he is, so my wife went and hoarded up on stuff, hoarded up on stuff from Sam's Club. And we had to clean out some of the space in our hallway closet to put some of the stuff that she got. She got like toilet paper, shampoo, conditioner, all that stuff. Well, we had a big sleeping bag, like a big one, and it was in that closet. Well, my wife was looking for it the other day, and she couldn't find it. And my daughter was like, "Oh, yeah, Bryson he hung it up on his door. It's his punching bag." And he came out and he told my wife, "Hey, Mom, thank you for getting me a punching bag for my room." So he has it hung up on the door handle. So it's like a perfect like thing for him to punch. And he said he was using it to train. And I was, I kept asking him, "Dude, what are you training for? What?
He has a debut next week. Leave him alone."
And so last night we went to dinner, and he got a corn dog for dinner, right? Which,
He boxed it.
nothing I loved more than spending $5 on one corn dog that I can spend on an entire box of corn dogs at the grocery store. And he's like, "Can I pour the ketchup?" I was like, "Dude, no, you're gonna make a mess." He goes, "That's what I've been training for." And so I couldn't stop laughing. So I'm like, "Go for it."
I want to see a whole Rocky-esque like buildup of him training like a training montage, and he's just like, okay, ketchup bottle.
And so I give him the ketchup bottle because I'm like, "All right, man, you got it. I have to let you do it now. You've been training for it."
I want to see the results.
And so he turns the bottle over and starts squeezing it. He makes, his pile of ketchup, and he goes, "Look, I didn't make a mess." I said, "That's probably the most successful training I've ever seen in my life, son." I laughed so hard.
I don't see how the training correlates.
I don't either, but I guess he was working on his grip strength. Like, he came into the living room 2 nights ago with 5-pound dumbbells, like in each hand, and he's like, 1, 2, like he like counted to 10 and then put them down, and then picked them back up and counted to 10 again, doing it.
It's not about
he's got his reps in.
It's not about
he's getting his reps in.
The discipline.
Yeah, and so this kind of like great. I mean, just kids they just do such crazy things. And for anyone that doesn't know, it was about a year ago. My son he had to get his head glued shut.
I the second you said a year ago, I was like, I know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah, because he's just like that crazy that he was like he was like, I guess, I don't know, he was acting like he was Captain America, right?
Well, he's one of us. Of course he has to have a head injury.
Yeah, of course. Which, that's getting further into my story of what I'm talking about. When I was a kid, before I hit the age of 10, I had 4 different sets of stitches in my head. Nowhere else, just my head. And the first one, I don't know, I guess I was like a little kid and like a baby, like little, like 1 or 2 or something like that, just learning how to walk. And I get out of the high chair onto the table. I hear my mom coming back she went to go answer the door. When I tried to get back in my high chair, I tripped and fell off the table onto the tile floor.
Oh.
And I like cracked my skull open. And the second one was your sister.
Our sister, yes.
Not in this story. She's your sister. Pushed me off a bed when I told her I was not ready to be pushed, because I guess there was 2 beds like side by side, and we were pushing each other from one bed to the other. And I was like, "Hey, I'm not ready." Well, she pushed me anyway. I fell off and I hit my head on the frame of the bed. And so I had to get stitches then. Third time was I was trying to be a class clown, because that's what I do. And I was walking. I think it was like the 2nd grade, and I was like walking in line, but I decided to turn backwards because I was funny. I don't know. And my teacher yelled at me and said, "Cameron, turn around." So as I turn around, they're just those old music stands are like made of like solid metal.
Oh yeah.
I turned around and it sliced my eyebrow right open. But I didn't know that I was sliced open. I just know I hit it. So I'm like holding my head like this.
Oh, and then
we're heading to gym class, and I was like, my head really hurts. And she goes, "Well, let me look at it." And so I took my hand away, and it's like covered in blood. And I could just see her face. She was like, "Oh my God." And I was like, "Oh," like it made me freak out.
Yeah.
And I literally went to the doctor, got stitches put in, and then I was like, I want to go back to school and tell my story.
Because the big thing as a kid is having a story to tell.
Yeah, and you come back with stitches in your eyebrow.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh my God, what happened?"
Yeah, I know. I was the popular kid then
for a day.
Yeah, pretty much. And the fourth time was me and my cousin were like wrestling, or we were boxing first, and I guess I punched him and like I bloodied his nose. Like he had blood. Like I guess I hit his nose just right, and blood was just gushing out. And I apparently that made him mad. So we
Who would
started
have guessed?
wrestling. Yeah, we started wrestling, and he had me down. So I was like, "Hey, let me get back up real quick." And as I'm going to get back up, his anger showed, and he pushed my head back down. Well, my head was in the perfect spot where those old fireplaces that were like the rock was like on the floor,
Yeah.
and like it only came up like 2 inches, and then it was like the fire. Well, that's what it was. My head was at the corner of it,
Oh,
and he pushed my head right into the corner.
he
of that
basically
thing.
curb stomped you. Wow.
Basically, yeah. But what's stupid is I went in to the doctor, waited 2 hours because they had to have. My mom wasn't there. I was being babysitted by an older cousin, and I waited 2 hours until my mom got there just to put one stitch in my head.
Jesus.
One stitch. Like that could have taken a butterfly bandage, man.
Or some Gorilla Glue, yeah.
But I don't think they were super gluing people's heads back together then.
Well, probably not, honestly. I don't know when they started that.
I want to say I was 10, maybe. So what, 21 years ago? Wow, I feel old now.
2000, yeah.
Almost your entire lifetime ago.
Almost, yeah.
So yeah, they probably weren't gluing heads back together then. Like a stitch was probably like a big deal.
Yeah.
Probably cost like $7,000 just to do that.
Fully made from the
just to put like a little bit of
finest
string in my head.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a similar story to the school one you had, where I was in high school because this was in Houston, Texas, and sometimes we had our for some reason we had a math class outside for some reason. So yeah,
It's a new age teacher.
Yeah.
They teach outside.
but it wasn't really outside. It was just like because it was the high school was like 4,000 or 5,000 kids. So there's like 3 separate 2-story buildings. Yeah, it's a big school. So like if we weren't really outside, we were just in the courtyard between the buildings, just sitting like by a bench underneath the staircase. I'm sitting underneath the staircase, a concrete staircase above me, and I'm sitting on like a concrete platform that it like sits onto. I'm sitting there and I'm like, and then we're just talking, and then they're like, all right, time to go back inside. So I'm like, oh, okay. And I immediately hop up, and there is a screw that comes through with a nut on it.
Ugh.
And my head goes I go head first into the nut. And I'm just like, and I have like this ringing in my head. I'm like, oh God, my head. And I didn't know it at the time. I just thought I hit concrete. So I'm like, oh shit. And my teacher, who is the smallest, most adorable person, is like, hey, watch your mouth. And I look at my hand, and then she looks at my hand. She goes, oh shit. And like at that time, I just would be like, hey, watch your mouth. I had more serious things to deal with, so they're like, let me get a hold of your dad. I'm like, yeah, you do that. I'm just sitting there, and like this girl, poor girl, like most sweet, innocent little person is just like, they're just like, you escort him to the nurse, and she keeps on looking back at me and then crying. I'm just like, stop looking at me, just walk. If you hear a thud, I fall in, just start dragging. Just don't look at me. I don't want to deal with you crying right now. I have enough on my plate. And then Daddy gets there, and he was just like, you want stitches? And I was like, no, just let's get back home. And he was like, all right, I got you. And then we just went home.
Speaking of childhood stupidity, I was hanging out at a friend's house one time, and he had like a horse barn, but I don't think they had horses, so I was a little confused by that.
So he just had it like mean like a stable?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
That was the word I was going for, but I was trying.
I understood horse barn.
I was trying to like not.
You couldn't remember the words.
Bring attention to the fact that I didn't remember the word.
Yeah.
But thanks for that one.
Well, you did the same thing to me the other day when I was talking about like, where they keep horses, and you're like, a stable, and I'm like, yeah. So payback's a bitch.
Beside the point. That's beside the point. Like, I don't know why you're bringing this up. That's the past. Quit living in the past, man. Jesus. So a horse stable. Well, he had like a rope swing in said horse stable, and I don't know what the quotations were for, but
just call it a stable.
Yeah, No, I'm calling it a horse stable.
You didn't have
No, I have
horses. You just said that.
Well, you had to like get on top of a gate to swing off of it.
Oh,
Well,
seems smart.
I decided to swing, right? But I didn't let go when I was supposed to. So when I came back, okay, so on those gates they have like the cross bars that are like little tiny little bars.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe that.
Well, I guess like a grate.
Kind of, but they're like wider. They're probably like 4x4 holes
On the ground or in the fence?
In the fence.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
So I guess on one of them they had the one of the bars was like bent outward. So when I came back, that bar went straight into my back.
Oh.
Because I came back with such velocity that it just like went right in, and I was stuck there. Because I've been impaled. And I'm like, I don't feel pain, but like I know that something's wrong.
Like there's a pressure, and you're just like, I don't know what the sensation is right now.
But I was afraid to let go of the rope because I didn't know what was going to happen. Yeah. So I'm like full force, like pulling up on the rope to keep myself like level with whatever has impaled my back. And so my buddy's like freaking out, and I'm like, just pull me forward. Just pull me forward. And so he does, and then like we're like running in, and we're letting his mom know because I'm at a friend's house. Like it's not even my own house. And she's like, "Oh my God." And so she puts a bandage on it, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm good." I was like, "Can we just not tell my mom about this because she will never let me come over here again?"
Okay, so when you so how bad was the impalement?
I mean, it was probably only about 2-3 inches.
Deep or wide?
Deep.
Oh my! I mean, that
could have hit a kidney.
I was thinking like that's organ depth.
Yeah, but I guess I missed everything because I was fine.
God,
but we didn't tell anybody.
when you like pull me forward, I'm just picturing like someone like impaled through the stomach. You're just like slide me forward, just
like no, it wasn't like through and through, but like
I just hear impalement. I'm just like, oh.
But I mean, I had 2 inches of a very narrow bar. I don't know how to describe that. It's not really a bar, but it's like metal. I guess I'll just say, a rod of metal. And it went in. I mean, it was probably only like, I don't know the measurement of that. It's probably like 3 millimeters wide. I don't know. But it was enough to cause some, I mean, it hurt. It wasn't like getting like a shot. Like it hurt. But I was like, please, let's just not tell my mom because I'll never be able to come over here again. We're gonna take a break and we will be back. Absurdity. Okay, so that was our episode, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cameron takes 3 inches. All right.
Cameron takes 3 inches.
All right, so we will see y'all next week. Remember, we are starting a new segment where we are going to answer your emails on the show, but we need you to send us an email, obviously. So remember, absurditee325@gmail.com. We will keep everyone anonymous. We still have to name this segment. I don't know what we're going to name it. But we hope you send us our emails. We won't say who it is that sent the email, but we will answer it on the show and try to give advice. And if you're not following our Facebook page or our Instagram or our Twitter,
what are you doing with your life?
What are you doing with your life? You need to come follow us because we have a lot of fun on there and we want to interact with every last one of you. And we want you to interact more. We want you to have fun with us. And
I get lonely at night. Slide into my DMs.
Okay, you can do that, I guess. And maybe one day we'll have a guest on. Have a little fun. Eventually. Not that kind of fun, but we'll have fun. So
you'll only find out on the Absurdity Podcast OnlyFans.
That we don't have. It's not happening. So on that note, toodaloo.
Till next time.